country, as he has partnered with a group of investors with a cumulative hotel holdings of over $1 billion. One of the casualties of the COVID-19 lockdown are our hotels right now. And we're going to talk about this. Now, and he also has a book out. Now, I read this book. Did you really write it? Let me tell you. This book is called From Broke to Millions. Thank you, Mike, for joining me today.
Hey, thanks for having me, brother, man. I appreciate you, boss.
So I wanna talk about this book first.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about what was the inspiration for the book?
Man, it was something I always wanted to do, wanted to share all the information I had. And the other big thing is to let people know that it's possible. So we began to share my journey with also the details of how you could do it yourself. And so I shared it all in this book, From Broke to Millions, where it showed having the mindset, the experiences where I failed. And some people, as you get older, they call them case studies. So you get to
So
you failing.
so you are a case study, I presume.
And as you see now, back in the day, they say it's better to cheat than repeat. But now they call it modeling. So we model after these things. So, no, man, and simply, I from experience and doing it the wrong way, I simply share my experiences so that you can model from me and not do what I did wrong and be successful. But the biggest point is, I want people to know that it's possible. I share in my webinar my experience. I talk about running a 4-minute mile. And back in 1945, Roger Bannister was one of the first people to run the 4-minute mile, to break it, the 4-minute mile. And, I know some of you are like, what's so big about that? Well, back then they thought it was humanly impossible. And Roger Bannister did it. And then 45 days later, John Landy broke it. And after that, numerous people in the industry, college and high school, began to run the mile under 4 minutes. And so it's all because they saw someone do it that made it possible. And for myself, I began to see developers. I was fortunate to be in a situation where I saw multiple developers and people kind of doing on my level. They didn't look like me, but that didn't matter. I just knew it was possible. I saw them doing $1 million deals, $5 million, 10, 100 million. And I'm sitting there talking to them. They're just regular people. They had the same problems I was having. Matter of fact, the same kind of problems I was having on my single family, 2 families, 4 families, 10 units. They had the same problem on these 20, 30, $50 million, $100 million deals. The only difference when it was all said and done was when I finished the deal, I only made, $1,000, $30,000. But when they finished the deal, they left the table with $1 million to $10 million. And I was like, I want that kind of problem. And so that was me moving forward. And that's me sharing with you here in this book.
So my first question is, so how do you stated that you didn't have any money, you were basically destitute. How did you acquire properties even when you didn't have any money? How did you first start?
Look, so I first started back in 99. Although I started reading books back in high school. I was a junior, senior in high school, and I just knew so much about money. And I was so adamant of being in the stock market. and because I saw that's where people were making money. And at the time, I saw that was junk bond. And when I looked, come to find out, I was like, man, oh yeah. What really did was the minimum investment was $50,000. I'm in high school. I was like, I ain't got no $50,000. So I put that book back on the shelf, and I found Robert Allen, No Money Down, in the 90s, I think, or the 80s at the time. And all these techniques that I use today is what I used back then. Leveraging OPM, other people's money, utilizing your retirement, your 401k, and as you help people with life insurance policies. Some of you have equity in your life insurance policies that you could use to get in your first deal. Matter of fact, I actually used my life insurance policy to help fund part of my retirement and to pay my actual what do you call it, my premium. I had built it up where I had 30-something thousand in equity in my life insurance policy. I borrowed that money. I bought a multi-family, about two houses, maybe one or two houses. But that income, because I did it on a rent-to-own land contract, I wasn't responsible for expenses. So I was generating, I'll say, $600 a month. My premium was $500 a month. So I would take that money that I received as revenue. I paid back my insurance policy, and I had a profit, and I was paying my payment down. So it's kind of, as I don't know if you ever read the book, Pay Yourself First, where whenever you borrow money, you pay yourself interest as well. You don't just borrow it and never pay yourself
Man, that's a no. Talk about that. Talk about that 401k. Um, that's a that's a that's a big deal now, especially with COVID-19 and and the um and the free withdrawals through the end of the year, where people can actually take our money out. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so what got me really into 401ks was self-directed IRAs. And one of the more popular ones was equity trust that I used and I actually worked with. And basically with your 401k, depending on how it's structured, you either you can borrow so much money from your 401k. Some will allow you to borrow up to 50%. Some will allow you to borrow, some will allow you to borrow up to $50,000, and some will allow you to borrow up to 50% of what's in there, depending on how it's structured. And with that, you still have to pay an interest, and some of that actually comes back to you. So again, you're paying yourself. And so the other way was when someone, let's say, we're working at one company and then they left to go to another company. Well, that 401k, not the correct term, it's not that it's voided, but it doesn't necessarily transfer over to your new job. You have that option to transfer it into a new 401k. And so one of the rules is if you have a 401k, you can use all that money and be in control of it by using a self-directed IRA, where you can now use your money and be the bank and manage that. And so with that, you can borrow money. Now, most people, which unfortunately, when they have a 401k, they use it to buy a car or they use it to bail them out in a time like this, which is completely understandable. But what they don't realize is you could use that same money to leverage to actually build wealth as well. It's not just there for emergencies. And once you become responsible, I always felt that I was always the guy that wanted to take control of everything I did. I didn't believe in investing in stocks, although I wanted to. And hear me out. I do believe in doing stocks, and the stock market is a way you can make money. But that just was not my hustle. I know a lot of people that make a lot of money investing in stocks, doing puts and options. Unfortunately, I'm not the one that makes money. I make money doing real estate, buying hotels and apartments.
Now, also, I do appreciate that. Now, going to apartment buildings. Now, let's talk about this. How do you buy the apartment buildings with no money down and without using your own money? That was I saw that in your book.
Yeah. Yeah, so now that it's not that, some people you not using no money. It's just not your money. There's numerous ways of doing it. You could one, as I just showed you, life insurance policy, your 401k. You have investors. There's a lot of people out here. Once you show responsibility and develop a relationship, they will lend money to you. Because here's the problem. You have people out here that have money, but no deals. Then there's people like you, other people, they have deals, but no money. And so they'll be gladly to invest.
Wait. How did you know I didn't have any money? I didn't tell you that. You just said that. Wait. We're going to stop here, right here. Let's wait a minute. I got something to say. Mike, you're right. I have no money. But anyway, go ahead, man.
They always told me you never should talk more personal. You make it more broad, okay? You made it too personal.
I took it personally.
Hey, look, I'm broke, but I ain't broke now.
I'm not. Wait, Mike. I'm broke, but I'm not broke. That's two brokes. I'm sorry, man. Go.
I'm just ninja rich, okay? I'm just ninja rich.
Oh man, I knew you were gonna do this. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, but those are multiple ways. You can use a credit card. I mean, there's numerous ways to acquire property and not actually use your money.
Okay.
And that's how the industry's set up. I mean, all these big companies are not using their money. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes people want to see that you have skin in the game, and what that means is, did you invest in it? Like if they're putting up almost 100% of the money, they want to at least see that you put 5 or 10% in, and that's understandable when you first start. But once you show that you have experience, people will fund the whole deal. And that's what I experienced, because I had some experience. People saw what I did. They were willing to do that for me.
So I want to say this. So we both went to Tuskegee, and I got a question, because do you think that Tuskegee had anything to do with the grind and fight you having?
Man, look, man, Tuskegee was everything. I can't even. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody has a unique personality, a superhero power that helps drive them. But my experience at Tuskegee, man, was amazing. Like, it was a small school. It was an all black college. We inspired each other. We only had each other. We learned to utilize each other's resources. And look, whether you knew it or not, it taught you how to be a salesperson, right? Because if you didn't speak up, you was gonna struggle. So you better start asking your mama, like, you better ask somebody, because I ain't gonna keep taking you to school. I ain't gonna keep you up to work, boy. Now, when you get up to school, you gotta figure it out. Because I ain't coming down there and I ain't sending you no more money. So because of that, you have to be creative. and we were creative on how. I'll never forget. Now this ain't right. This ain't right. So learn how to be creative and tell the truth all the time. Okay, and this is really bad. But the point was, I'll never forget. We're in college, and everybody knew who we were in our dorm. Like, I knew everybody in the dorm. And one day, me and Skip was broke.
Broke, or just broke?
Oh, we were broke. Hey, Roman noodles broke. Like I may not have enough money to get the seasoning for my Roman noodles broke. Like I lost the packet. And I never forget, man, we wanted some beer. We we knocked on everybody because we was like, how are we gonna get some beer this weekend, man? And I don't know if you remember, but whenever somebody got hurt or they had an activity or a project they wanted to raise money, they would go door to door and people would give them money. And so I'll never forget, I remember that. And that was like, I got it. I know how we're going to raise beer. We're going to tell the truth. And so we went door to door and we was like, hey, I'm Mike and I'm raising money for my man Keg because he's tapped out. And from door to door, we raised $20 to go buy a case.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. You got to learn right there, right?
My man Keg was tapped out. And that was history. So that was, hey, but it's creative, having fun, man. And no, but from there I learned how to do parties, concerts. I learned how to get sponsors. I learned the value of communication, helping one another. And we did it all in Tuskegee, male, female. And I'm not into this. I'm not even going there with all this gender fluid binary, whatever it is. But truly, the male and female relationship was one out of this world. Literally, like hugs, kisses. To this day, some of the women in Tuskegee are some of our best friends, and vice versa, that we still talk to the day. And whenever I go any homecoming or any event, people that went to Tuskegee or had a homecoming, and they just don't understand how you can have so much fun and have a type of relationship like that and always uplifting one another.
So on that, Mike, I'm going to bring in my broker of the day.
Broker of the day, all right.
Broker of the day. And she happens to be a graduate of Tuskegee University. Say hey to Andretta!
Back listening to both of you guys, I felt like I was down in the yard, in the stadium, doing some parlay. I was like, that. The only thing that was missing was the chicken coop. I was like,
hey man, that seasoning salt.
It's like, man, look, but you know what? So cool about this is, you're right. You're absolutely right, Mike. The people from Tuskegee, we are salespeople from the heart. We're born salespeople, okay?
That's right.
We be that way to survive. And I'm just looking here and I'm going to myself, man, this is everything he said is so true. Everything you guys are saying is so true. And I am so excited, Michael, to see, of course, I'm not surprised at all. You came from Tuskegee. You are going to be the best at what you're going to be. And of course, we know Ed does his thing. Ed is the man up here in Chicago.
They should call him Big Sexy.
Are we really going there? Mike?
Oh, man. I remember the day I found out Ed went to Tuskegee, and I admit, Ed, we looked at each other and went, we couldn't, we was like, what, Tuskegee? Oh, man, we both went to Tuskegee. I know I'm older than you guys, but nothing changes. Okay. Nothing changes. It's still the same.
So
let's get back to the show.
So on that note of success, let me introduce Andretta. She is $1 million. Not only is she a Tuskegee graduate, she is $1 million producer. She's in the Remax Hall of Fame. She's in the Remax Platinum Club. If that's not Tuskegee success, I don't know what is. So what we do every week, we have a segment of the show. It's called Broker of the Day. And Andretta Robinson is my broker of the day, and she is gonna talk about her favorite listing that she has on the market right now. Take it away, Andretta.
Thank you, Ed. Today we're going to talk new construction. As you all already know, we have no inventory. There is nothing out there to buy. I mean, it's really this is a seller's market. It's nobody's market because the seller's not out there either. If you are a seller, get out there. I'm telling you right now. Don't wait until spring because the buyers are out there and they need some inventory. We are starving for inventory. With that in mind, I want to talk about my new construction deal because, hey, you always got new construction, right? So I have a project in Olympia Fields, Illinois. It is actually called Traditions, and it is actually for the 55 plus community. Now, don't get turned away by the 55 plus community because this is a growing segment. All you baby boomers out there, and there are tons of us out there. We are the baby boomers, and we are kind of transitioning now. Most of us are downsizing. Okay, we're downsizing. We've had our big 4,000 square feet houses. We've done all that. We've been successful. Now we want to come back down and we want to live on a one level ranch home. And I have a 2,600 square foot home for sale on Traditions. The address is actually 20,000 Arquila Circle. And I think Ed has a copy of the picture of it here. I don't know if he's going to get a chance to put it up. But if you're looking for some new construction, I have some. That's not the only one. The builder that I'm working with, we can build anywhere, no matter where. We'll find you the land and we will build you the house. Because there's no inventory. I got to keep stressing that. Because you guys know the buyers that are out there, they're looking, they're calling me, they're wanting, they're crying. We're in bidding wars everywhere. People are bidding $20,000, $30,000 over asking. It's absolutely insane. But come see me, and I'll get you some new construction. Okay, thanks, Ed.
So, Andrea, how can we reach you? Well, what's the best way to reach you?
Okay, so it's easy to find me. I'm everywhere. You see my name up there. You can find me under AndrettaTheRealtor.com. You can find me that way. I'm all over Facebook, Instagram. Tweet me, LinkedIn me. You see my name. Actually, just Google my name. You'll find it. It's that simple.
Man, Google. Wait, let me Google you now. Hold on a second. I'm about to Google you right now. Hold please. Hold please. Andretta, the real estate broker.
Man.
Google me, baby. You know I'm not just off the list.
I'm Googling you now.
Ain't no other one but me. I'm the one.
It is what it is. We're going to do it.
Andretta, why when I put in your name, a big old house just came up on the screen?
Ooh, that's who I am, man.
Okay.
Well, look, I want to be like Mike when I grow up. I want to just sit back and chill and have 1,000 apartments and don't have to sell not one house. Hey, Mike, I'm coming for you. I'm reading that.
Yeah, I've been there. When I went broke, I was like, man, this is all I knew. So I went back and became a realtor. And trust me, I know. I was dealing with all those retail. And I'll never forget my first year. I had like 30 deals that I had wrote contracts on. But yeah, I only closed like 7 of them. They were small.
That was the frustrating part right there, because been there, done that too, Mike. So you're in the right field. You're doing it the right way. I mean, you're doing it. And Ed, you picked a good one.
Hey, Andretta, do you have any questions you want to ask Mike while you're on the air right now?
Oh, please! If I asked him all the questions I wanted to air, take up the whole program. So I'm not.
Take your time.
Okay, Ed. All right.
Before you leave.
Give me the floor, because you know how we Tuskegee people are. We just take over. But anyway, Mike, so one of the things I would want to ask you, seriously, because I'm crying here. I got tears coming down my eyes from laughing so hard. But I do want to ask you, for people out here like myself, and I heard you when you said, hey, don't worry about, taking your money out of your 401k, because a lot of people do use their 401ks for down payment, on homes and stuff like that. But when you're talking about going on another level, and that is to invest, how did you find these investors? How did you find the people that help you fund these deals? Where'd you get them from?
Okay, you got to buy the book. You start off with the good luck now. You got to get the $20. Okay? But
that was his book, and that's a hustler right there.
wait a minute. The game is to be sold, not told.
Hard. I'm gonna try his mouth as much as I possibly could. He told me to ask questions. Ed didn't ask me that.
No, I mean, finding investors like honestly, what you're doing now, social media has been amazing. I mean, it's such a far outreach now where before in order to really get your message out, it was pretty much dictated. But, online, it's where it's come. And unfortunately, it wasn't until really, not for everybody, but for a lot of people, it wasn't until COVID that people really became more present online. I'm one of the examples of it. But I've seen people that been online for 8, 9 years on YouTube. Matter of fact, man, I love it. Eric, the hip hop preacher, man. I go back, I don't know if you know him, but I go back and look at his first episode of Thank God It's Monday and how like it was just you could just see it's like I'm gonna do it. Like it's and one of the people get what they call the analysis paralysis, where they overthink things and so they don't move. And I think one of his theories was just do it and fix it later, And so I just encourage people to do it. And I became more aggressive. Matter of fact, I failed at raising capital. I had the experience, and this was the thing that really threw me a loop. I had the experience. I've done deals. I've done multi-million-dollar deals. But I would get on the phone or in a meeting, and I would go on and tell these people all about how great I am and how great we done deals. In the nice way, not in the braggadocious way. And but I wasn't closing anybody. And even my partner, he would come on now. Look, y'all think I'm laid back and silly, but my partner, he's just high energy comedy. Very, it's like he got a photographic memory. He drops numbers down. I give him the laid back approach, and he still wasn't closing. And I really went back and I learned that I was focused more on myself and not more of the investor. And once I changed that dialogue, that I align my interest, their interest with my interest. In fact, when we get in a meeting, honestly, we didn't even talk about me. I could care less. They don't even, what, baby, what is it? Where are you trying to go? Well, how's life been? How come you can't? What's the problem? Mm-hmm. Really? Mm-hmm. And you give one example, I call my elevator pitch on how we help people get to wherever they go. We just have the vehicle, so just jump on in and go for a ride. And next thing you know, we'll drop you off. And it's all about them, and we build their trust, the biggest thing. Because people always think like, oh man, how am I raise $1 million? Like I was telling Ed earlier, there's tons of people out here. Quite frankly, we got 300, let's just round it off. We just shy of 400 million people in the U.S. Now, here's the crazy thing. 10% of those people are what we call accredited investors. And that 10% is over $1 trillion worth of value. Trillion. And here's the thing. That makes up what? 10% of that's 40 million people. You don't even need that many people. You only need like 5 or 10. So basically 1 out of 10 people you talk to are accredited. Credit means they make over $250, $300 a year, whether they do it on salary or joint, or they have $1 million net worth. And so constantly sharing your story, your success, being yourself, people get to know you, and sharing information like yourself. Now you're trustworthy. People understand, and you're consistent. Ed's consistent. He does this every week. And Ed's like, well, I'm listening. I'm learning. And I want to work with Ed. I want to do a policy with Ed. I want Ed to direct me. I want to do some deals with you. especially in the Hall of Fame. I want to deal with people in the Hall of Fame. but it's about building trust and knowing you had a track record. And once I built on that, that's when I really started gaining more and more investors. And now,
I can relate.
Weekly, I have people calling ready to invest money.
I can relate to that story about it's not about you, it's about them.
All about them.
That's where it all changes when you realize it's not about you anymore. Nobody cares whether you're a multi-millionaire or platinum, whatever. They don't care about that. They only want to know what you're going to do for me. What have you done for me lately?
Hey, it's like church. The Lord told you to go service the people. Provide service. Amen. Value and make it about them, and you'll go a long way.
That's a game. That's a game changer. I hope people are listening, because that's a game changer right there. When people realize it's not about them and it's about the people that you're servicing, it changes everything. That's how I got to where I'm at. So
well, thank you, Andretta.
You're welcome. It was fun, guys.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for taking the time out to talk to us.
No problem. I enjoyed it. Good luck. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
That's a great time to give my little short spiel of where we are. We are talking with Ed Talk, and we're talking to Michael Ealy, and we're on Intellectual Radio that comes on every Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And we have Mike Ealy, CEO of Nassau Investments, my friend and Tuskegee brother. You can definitely call in to ask him anything. Bank account number. No, I'm joking. You can call in at 708-223-8953. You can call 708-223-8953 and ask Mike Ealy questions about real estate. Okay, so Mike, walk me through. Okay, you're on with it. You don't have to give me everything. I know most of it's in the book. That's by the way. By the way, I'm going to put that back up on the screen here. Is called From I'm Broke to Millions. But let's talk about acquiring property. Now, I see a property. Where do I go from there? Just give me a high level of how you actually analyze what you're going to purchase.
Yeah, so it's at different levels, but let's take a single family or two family, okay. Right? You guys call them flats out there in Chi, but it's simply a 2-unit apartment building. And one of the first things I'm looking at is the value. There? So can I buy it the way I like to do it? I like to do what they call forced depreciation, meaning when I buy something, I renovate it, I can increase the rents, and then I force the value. Where some people, they like to buy at cost, and they expect with appreciation, the value will continue to rise over a period of time. And they can continue to increase rents over a period of time. But me, myself, like forced appreciation. And because of that, I know this is a long way of answering it, but I say that because whenever you go, because in the economy, there's always going to be a correction. Now, the odds of us having another great recession was slim, but here comes COVID. So, but what's weird about it, as Andrea was saying, across the U.S., man, houses are off the market. Like it's a limited stock. And so, which is crazy. We're expecting job loss. We expect things to go downward in value, but that has not been the case. And I think simply that's because they increased the interest rates. Decreased the interest rates. So they're so low. So it's so cheap. Money is so cheap. But again, one of the things I mainly look at is the value. Simply, hey, this 2 families worth $200, but I can buy it for $150. All right, that's one of the first things. It's simple. And then can I just go in and paint and just clean the carpet up and then get it rented and then make it a value of 200? And if so, I'm excited about this deal. And then that's it. Even in multifamily, in stocks, it's buy low, sell high. And that's what I'm looking at. Now, when we get technical about it, I'm looking for certain buyers or certain areas that have that kind of value and it can appreciate as well with the forced appreciation.
Now, talk about forced appreciation just a little bit more for our listeners, so we can kind of wrap our hands around that.
Yeah, so forced appreciation, in layman's terms, is you created it by creating the value. It's just like anything else. When you working with people, as we shared earlier, you want investors, you need to add value. And so with these apartments, we add value to it. So for example, again, that's another day. You find a house for $100,000, but it's dated. Old windows, the roof is bad, needs a new kitchen, things like that. So you go in, do the work, you put 30, 40,000 in it. Now you created value. So now you force the value. You have forced the appreciation of it. And so therefore, that's how you create forced appreciation. And then so with that, I'm gonna either sell it right away. Now, what makes me sell it is if let's say I do the deal and I said I put 30,000 in it, and I can make 70,000 when I sell, minus expenses, realtor fees, transaction costs, etc. But in summer, I can make $70,000. So then I simply say, well, hey, can I rent it? And if I rent it, can I make $70,000 in a year's time, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? And if I can't do it in 5 years, I'm really going to sell. And for those who are like, hey, man, I'm just getting started, I really need that money so I can do another deal, then they may just sell it, And that's simply what they call flipping the house. Close the door, buddy. I'm on the call. Yeah, here he comes, man. Come
just
here,
like you.
Yeah. Come here, man. Say hi to everybody, man.
Hello.
This is he used to be my youngest. This is my oldest here, Mikey. Okay, get out.
Just like you. Hey,
it's real, man.
Hey, talk about the effects of COVID-19, and I saw on your site where you were talking about purchasing hotels and how the mortgages for hotels are I'm getting behind. This is one of the best time to start trying to acquire those type of properties.
Yeah. So fortunately, unfortunately, but during the Great Recession, 2008, 2011, everything was going haywire. Banks, businesses, hotels, apartments, houses, and it just went through this phase. And for me, during that recession, that's when I started buying multi-units. I was buying multi-units for $4,000 a door, $10,000 a door, $12,000 a door. And just to give you an idea, per door, let's say you got you buying 100 units at $4,000 a door. That means I paid $400,000 total. Whereas you got to realize these 100 units were selling at $2.5, $3 million. Almost 30,000 a door, 35,000, 40 a door, and I was getting it for extreme discount. And so today we're seeing that same thing in hotels. The only catch part in this hotel, we do believe the market's come back, but when it comes back, it's going to be a little different. Simply because that business traveler is not traveling anymore. Well, they cut back. A lot of companies are going to cut back almost at least 15%. That's what some economists are saying. Like everybody's saying, yeah, the economy back, we'll do it even more. But the traveling sector, we don't know if it's going to come back. And if it does, 15% may be gone forever. Just like in the airline industry when we had 9/11. I never forget it. I believe it was Delta. It was like the industry forever changed. And it did. Multiple companies went bankrupt. You had multiple companies merge, and they just never recovered. And again, here we are again with this COVID. In every economy, the first thing to go is in the economy is hospitality or travel industry. It's a fetal market or market. It's all economy driven. In the hotel industry, when the economy is good, hotels are doing great. When the economy is bad, hotels are not doing good. So now we're taking advantage when the hotels are not doing well. The odds of this happening again, maybe not COVID. I mean, it could happen again, but for our economy to do this, like I said, it typically doesn't happen in our lifetime. Not to say another pandemic won't happen, but typically it's not in our lifetime. And so that's why we're taking advantage, and we've done two projects already. We got one in Oklahoma we just did, where we assumed the debt, took over. And what's so great about that is this was a hotel that typically is worth $10 to $12 million. It was new construction. It was only 2-3 years old. People just gave up on it. Typically in a deal like this, you need to bring 30%, 40% down. We brought less than 10%. We brought about $800,000, and that was not necessarily a down payment, but to pay fees and to put a reserve escrow together for us to do this deal. And it's been doing extremely well. In the hotel industry, one of the hotels that are doing well are the extended stays. Most people who got extended stay, they're doing well. I don't care where you are. I'm still not really sure. Like, I understand you can rent them because they're more apartment style, apartment grade. They got their own kitchen. But why they're doing better than other hotels, I still don't really understand that. But I'm just not for me to understand, and just for me to realize it's working. That's what we do, man.
So I had a question from Lynn in Chicago. She asks, what are your thoughts about buying mobile homes as an investment?
I think that's a great investment. Now, for me, again, that's not what I do, but I know many people are doing successful in mobile homes. And the reason why people like mobile homes, some people, all they're doing is leasing the land, because most of the people in mobile homes, not always, but most people have their own money. And so they have their own money, their own home. It's all they need somewhere to park it. And they will pay you fees every month. And look, man, it's low, it's not high maintenance. You're gonna need somebody on the grounds, but boots on the ground, but you're not fixing anything. You're just renting land. And that's great. And it's cheaper to get into. It's it's volume. I know people that do extremely well. But I just haven't invested in, but I'm not against mobile homes. I mean, it's real estate. And like, you can buy mobile homes for $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. Again, put $5,000 in it, fix it up. You rent that same mobile home for $500, $600, $700, and you all in for $20,000, $25,000. I mean, those are amazing returns. Amazing returns.
Now, the next question, thanks, Mike. Next question is, what do you say to those who say, this is from Laura in Chicago, what do you say to those who say buying a multi-unit is bad because of how people pay their rent with COVID issues, blah, blah, blah? Is the risk really any greater for a landlord?
It's all on your market and where you leasing at. Fortunately, where I rented at and the type of products, I got a lot of B and C property, and they're doing well. I mean, but you have to look at the numbers. Only 10% of less than now the unemployment rate is around 10%. And so 10% of your asset may be unemployed. Well, there's numerous funds, there's numerous programs they can get assistance. But fortunately, we have people that did extremely well. We haven't, I mean, we only have some additions, but it hasn't been a big problem like we expected it to be. And maybe that's because we're prepared. But one of the big things is having escrow, having enough funds that your mama put money away for a rainy day. And every day, whether it's buying a business, buying a single family, or multi-family, you always escrow 3 to 4% of your gross revenue and set it aside for issues just like this with turnover. So no matter what you do, you're going to have some work. You're going to have some issues. So I disagree not buying multifamily because of COVID. Don't get me wrong, I was upset when they put this national memorandum, not memorandum, or whatever that you can't evict people. But really, it hasn't been a problem. Now, I can't now, but if you're someone, again, as I said, that did a marginal deal and you bought the deal based on the value appreciating and the value appreciating, and eventually you start charging more for higher rent. Well, if you have 5 or 10% change in your bottom line, that could affect you. For me, because I did it where I buy low and sell high, I may get affected, but not as bad as you or that individual. So that's why I say, I disagree with that. It's never a good time to buy. And as you get older, as I said, I got my daddy-o t-shirt. It's never a convenient time to have a baby. But we do, and you adjust.
Okay. Thanks, Mike. So this is the part of the show. It's called Know Your Guest. I mean, I know you. I know some things about you, but I'm not gonna tell anybody. I'm not gonna tell anybody all that kind of stuff. That's kind of not PG. And we are on intellectual radio, and I don't want Facebook Live to cut me off telling your stories. So I'm just gonna ask a couple questions, and you just tell me the answer. Okay? Prince or Michael Jackson?
I'm going with Prince, man.
You're a Prince? Okay. What's your favorite song? What's your favorite Prince song?
Oh, Party Like It's 1999.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
And you already know, man.
I already know. Okay.
And let's get away, man.
Okay. Michelle Obama or Oprah?
I'm Oprah, baby.
Oprah. Why Oprah? Because I get different things every week. Somebody says something different.
Yeah, Oprah just she went after it, man. She's got the story behind it. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate Michelle for being in our office and being able to support Obama and everything she's done. But Oprah was that's what I was looking for. Like, she was inspirational, how you can make it no matter where you are. And even through all the challenges of the mental mindset she went through, being abused and raped, being younger, man, and being able to overcome that, you got to be strong, man. They say it takes a strong mind, because I'm telling you, during them times you fight, even as an entrepreneur, you're fighting like every day you wake up and you're like, why am I doing this? And then you make it. I love it for that.
I know I know you coach your kids, so I want to see what's the favorite sport, football or basketball?
I definitely love football. Basketball, I wasn't no good at, man. Hey, man, I coached basketball, but yeah, I was in junior high. I was the last person to get in the game, and I mean the last. And they would wait till it's like 50 seconds on the clock. And I don't care, 50 seconds, I always managed to get 2 fouls or 3 fouls before Yeah, man.
Oh man, you know what I forgot, and I gotta get out of here because I'm going over my time, and I knew you would do this. I gotta mention my father, Willie Beavers, real quick because I didn't mention him this week. This is his favorite part of the show. He's excited. He loves Tuskegee. I went there. He went. My sister went there. Father went to Wiley. Mother went to Lincoln. So we're all about HBCUs. So Mike, again, I just want to say thank you. It was a pleasure. And I knew I was gonna have a lot of fun, and I knew I was gonna learn something.
That's right, brother.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Thanks, boss. See you later.
And thank you for this episode of Ed Talk with Mike Ealy, where we come on Intellectual Radio every Sunday at 5 p.m. Central and 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you and good night.